So today we're in Herefordshire. We're going to a place called Hampton Court Castle. And this is one of those old country houses that's in the style of a castle with battlements and stuff. So should be interesting. So we'll have a little look around the gardens and grounds, and I'll be going inside the house. So hopefully they might let me do a bit of filming in there. So we'll see. So see you in a bit. Okay, I think we're here now. Hampton Court Castle. Nice gatehouse. There's the house or castle in front. Alright, so I've just arrived, and I think I'm going to have a little walk up towards the house and get my bearings a bit, see what's around. Through these gates, apparently this wisteria arch is about 160 years old. In this tree here, there's what looks like a little doorway into like a little hobbit house or something. But upon closer inspection, can't actually open the door or anything, it's just built in. But they've even put a knocker on it. And a miniature letterbox. That's a nice little touch. That's just a dead old tree, obviously. And look what we've got here again, straight away. Cedar of Lebanon tree. So this is Hampton Court Castle, and I think this is like the side or the rear. And the oldest parts of this house actually date back to 1427. And that includes the chapel as well. So it's very, very old building, this is. Obviously there's been some alterations since, but like the heart of the house was from about 1427 apparently. So going back to the beginning, it was a Roland Lenthal who built a manor house here in 1427. 12 years after his knighthood at the Battle of Agincourt. These are a bit grim looking. And then in 1434 Henry VI gave the Lenthal permission to crenellate or add battlements to the house. And then in 1510 a descendant of Roland Lenthal sold the house to a prominent Herefordshire family, the Coningsbys. The Coningsby family then held the estate until the early 1800s, when it was sold to Richard Arkwright, the son of the famous inventor. Arkwright's son John then commissioned a remodelling of the house in the 1830s and 40s in the Victorian Gothic style, and the Arkwrights lived here until 1912. The house then passed through various hands in the 1900s until it was bought in the 1990s by American millionaire Robert Van Campen, who extensively restored the place. You can really see how old some parts of the building are.
The little tower that we've just come out of, that is as old as the other side, and it is about 600 years old. And it was originally the entrance to the great... We used to have portcullis that came down outside. You can see the slots in the stonework where the portcullis came down. Now that went close on.
This is the north side of the house, the oldest side.
Yeah. Right, well here we are in the Coningsby Hall. It's the dumbest shop is what I can do something century. The more elaborate, the more likely it is we leave it up. Coming around at 7.
This is the chapel. The flat things up there with Chinese pole arms, which apparently were designed not so much to be used in battle as carried in procession. And you name it, Jack, you got it. But the main leaders, and poor old John Arkwright was so fed up, he said he wished he'd never touched a stone. But they did get some nice rings. Now, this is
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to.
I may say King William never.
What's his name? Oh, there's a famous bloke.
This place is actually used for weddings now, and guests stay in these rooms.
Hopefully you can visit, and in fact King William never did visit her. And when you're ready, we'll all go down. We meet down in the ballroom across the stairs. We did get a little bit lucky in the library. I mentioned all the furniture had been sold off, but there were just a couple of items that were built in. So handles works. And the handle. And it just leads into the stairwell where we were a few minutes ago. And it was obviously John Arkwright's idea of a bit of fun. He probably thought he was owed a bit of fun after all that trouble and expense. Because he did something similar on the... It does get used, this dining room, in this place. And both of them married rich men with big houses of their own, so it was sold surplus to requirements. So that meant that the parliamentary lot were able to just walk into his place here unattended and take it over. His wife was allowed to stay, but there's a rather pathetic letter from his wife Celia. Right, well, then you're ready, well, no, but it's, as I say, nice to have a chance, and thank you for visiting us. Thank you. Thank you.
She said it. Yes, ceremony.
So that was a little walk around the house. It's started raining a bit now. Nice wooded backdrop to this house. Yeah, so that was the house, and that was quite interesting. There's a lot of different sort of periods of building inside the house and on the exterior, from sort of the 15th century even up until the 20th century. And now we're in the kitchen garden, or walled garden, and this area would have provided fruit and veg for the house back in the day, and at the moment I think it still produces produce for the cafe, which is now in the orangery of the house, and we'll have a look at that in a bit. But yeah, this is the kitchen garden area at the moment. If you have a little look down here, we've got various glasshouses or conservatories. Still something growing on the walls in there. So yeah, we're going to have a little look at the gardens and grounds now. And apparently there's a few interesting little features, so we'll check them out. Some pears here, by the looks of it. So the gardens here were laid out in different periods as well. In the 1600s, the gardens, such as I think around here, would have been laid out by George London for Lord Coningsby. And then going up to the 1800s, there was some work by Humphrey Repton and Joseph Paxton. And Paxton was responsible for the orangery, which is now the calf, and we'll have a look at that in a little bit. As you can see, there's some interesting little features and stuff around here. As you can see, there's various little canals and sort of water gardens. The area that we're in at the moment appears to be sort of a Dutch garden or something like that. These pavilions or shelters are pretty good. There's two of these. There's this one here. And you might see in the background there's a further one, further down the garden. And then I think we've got a maze a bit further down here. Yeah. Right there. If you bring in children, there's a playground here for them. That's pretty nifty. Looks pretty new as well. So yeah, playground for the kids there. Okay, so apparently this is a maze here. I'll make my way around here a little bit. I'm not going to make you watch me walk all the way through. And then in the centre of the maze, there's this Gothic looking tower here. It looks relatively modern. Here we are, so we got to the tower in the middle. Here's another side of the tower. Aha! Found the opening to the tower. And it looks like we can go up. That's the maze I was walking through earlier. See the playground over there near the start of the maze. Let's go higher. There we go. There's the maze. Some people trying to find their way. It's a nice viewpoint up here actually. You can see the house in the distance over there. In the garden over there with the sort of canals, sort of the water gardeny bit. And then to the left there's the kitchen garden that we were in. There we go. So there was like there was 4 ways to the tower, but only one of them leads to the opening where you can get into it. So yeah, this is a nice little feature. Let's go back down again. So it looked like there was a little basement part or something. Yeah. That's interesting, there's a tunnel. I have no idea what's through this tunnel. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yes, so this leads to sort of sunken garden. That's good. And the waterfall here. Yeah. Try and creep through here. Oh look, you can actually walk behind the waterfall. That's pretty cool. That's where we came out earlier. Yeah, so this looks like it's the sunken garden. And again, there's a little sort of cascade type thing here. Let's go back down. Yes, this is a nice little sort of hidden away garden. It's good how it interacts with the tower and the maze, and then you just suddenly come out to this. It's quite impressive. I like it. then if we leave that sort of sunken garden area, lead us back out onto the lawn near the house where we were pretty much first thing. So this building here with the tall glass panels, this is the orangery, and this was actually designed by Joseph Paxton in 1845, and he's the famous architect and garden designer who was responsible for designing the Crystal Palace for the Great Exhibition of 1851. Now this actually lost its roof in the 1970s, and then in the 1980s it was converted into an indoor swimming pool, and then in the late 90s it was converted into a cafe, which it is still today. So yeah, that was the orangery. And I think down through these trees we've got another area. So I believe this is the Dutch garden with a canal. Hear the birds chirping away. Nice shelter down here at the bottom. Yeah, so that was the Dutch garden. I think I described something else as the Dutch garden earlier, but that was actually the South garden, I think. The one with the little shelters, the pavilions in. I'm going to finish off, I think, with something called the River Walk. Apparently this leads to a lake or something, so let's have a quick walk. Apparently this is going to take me about half an hour. So you start to get a nice view of the rear of the house from this river walk at the back, as you can see. The house and grounds here actually featured in a BBC TV series called Survivors, and that was filmed in 1975. Ah, I think we're at the lake then. There's a decent view of the house from here. Of the that's the north front of the house. It's quite good. The reeds are a bit high, but you can see how it's the other side of the river. So that was Hampton Court Castle, not to be confused with Hampton Court Palace down south. And yeah, that was worth a look around today. And if you're bringing kids, you got the play area and the maze and the little tower and stuff, so yeah, worth a little visit if you're in the area. Thanks for watching, I always appreciate it. I'll see you next time.